All right, I'm live. I am live for the first time. I am going to mix the tarot cards up, which they're right here. If you are listening to what is going on in the background, I had no idea what to put on because I usually have music on in the background. I usually edit these videos, and I don't know what to do about playing music in the background at the moment for a live show. I have OBS Studio that I'm going to learn over the next week so that I do this properly next time. But for now, this is just, I have Shudder going on, Shudder TV. They have, I guess it's a John Carpenter marathon or possibly a Jamie Lee Curtis marathon, because they had the original Halloween on, and now they have the Fog on. So pretty awesome. So if you hear that in the background, it's just because you don't need to listen to me breathing, and I mean you're going to anyways, but you know it doesn't need to be that loud, and also gives me something to look at and be distracted by, which will be even more fun. So hopefully you're joining me today. I'm going to message, hi all, I can't type and do this live. Hi all, feel free to ask me stuff or just say hi. I just realized that you don't need me to say this out loud. I am I just typed it, so you don't need me to say it out loud. Obviously I'm new to YouTube Live. Hopefully you guys will be tuning in. If anyone tunes in, great. Say hi. Ask me questions if you want. I should probably introduce myself. My name is Mary Graves, and I've been on YouTube for a couple of years now under this particular name, and I have an Instagram account, a Facebook, Maire Graves. It's kind of an Irish spelling, because I'm part Irish, but I like to do a lot of stuff on there, and I don't do enough on YouTube, so I started doing these weekly tarot readings because we're in isolation, and what the hell else am I going to do? I do sometimes swear, so if you have kids around, maybe not let them watch this, although I watched horror movies at a very young age, which is why a lot of what I do on Instagram and Facebook happens to be about horror movies. It's what I love. But on top of that, I'm multifaceted, so I do some music stuff here and on those pages, and I do the tarot readings, and I also do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday meditation videos with my animals because, and they might pop up at some point too, because I live with animals, and you might live with animals too, and it's probably a little more fun to know that you are not alone in trying to meditate when they are around. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes. Feel free to file on in. None of you that are watching right now, but maybe watching later. And so I'm going to send out some messages, give you a few minutes. I'll turn up the volume to John Carpenter's The Fog while I do this. I'm live. Live. Doing live.
Will Sheriff David Sims please contact him?
We can still. Oh, nope.
Work together. We have a vital fighting.
Man,
and I say we have to.
I love the way that sounds. To my channel. Obviously, very much not prepared at the moment, but don't worry. I promise next week it'll be much more organized. At least I got my background up, but you can't even really see that. But there it is. There we go. All right. Copy the link. Link copied. Ooh, something's going on. I love horror movies. Isolation was made for horror movies. I'm just saying. That and Tiger King, which I haven't watched yet, but it's on my list. Can't decide if I'm going to watch that next or The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And hashtags. Tarot. Reading. Tarot cards. Scopes. Sweet. All right, got that up, and then we'll just Spirit. I'm gonna send it to my Instagram followers as well. There. That's what a screenshot is for. Sticker. Link in bio. Sorry if this is boring. Please give me a minute. Link in bio. Hydro flask. Save on plastics. Save the earth. What I'm going to do is mix up these cards. We can talk about our days. Chat with me if you want, if you're listening, if you're watching. And I'm just going to go through this. We're going to take one card per astrological sign, starting with, I believe it's Aries. Yes, I do have a list below in case I forget, because I'm always afraid I'm going to forget a sign. I know Virgo is the 6th sign. That's my, and I think 6 is kind of unlucky somehow. But I was born on the 5th of my month. So, which, you know, Virgo, if you know that, it's September. In case you want to buy me something for my birthday. Wink. Just kidding. But in all seriousness, fives are actually considered an unlucky number. When I'm dealing out the tarot, if a 5 comes up in your sign, it's usually pretty bad. I mean, sometimes if it's reversed, it's a little better, but usually when you have a right side up card, unless it's a sword, swords work like 5s, your 5s are usually pretty bad when they're right side up. Something about, I think, things ending. I think if you look at it like wands, when you have 4 wands, each wand is matched up to somebody else or somebody else's wand, something else's wand. But if you're doing 5, it's like there's one left out. For some reason, 3s are okay though, because 3's company, I guess. 3 sounds are great. Kidding. Or I don't know, maybe I am. I don't know. You don't know me. Yes, I did get that from Rick and Morty, and as well as normal television and talking. That's what popped in my head. All right, see, I babble. You get me live, you get babbling Mary. So, aren't you lucky? I do a whole process with the mixing. It takes a while. Maybe next time I go live, I'll do the mixing ahead of time, but I feel like if you are watching right now, you are listening to this, then maybe, just maybe, your energies are coming through this computer screen right now. I know people say, you know, you're doing internet reading and stuff. It doesn't count. Well, you know, technology is based on wires and the Wi-Fi is in the air and stuff. It's all connected. It's all connected. You can't give me coronavirus through here. God. But, you know, maybe you can send out good vibes through the computer screen. Keep it upbeat. Unless you're going through something really awful and you need a terrible ending to get through it. I don't know. I can't give you a situation where that would be appropriate, but you never know. I'm going to turn down the fog a little bit. Now it's too distracting. Oh, they got the old woman. I love horror movies so much. Thank you, Shudder, by the way. I am not sponsored by anybody at all. I have 25 followers on YouTube. Feel free to tell people to follow and subscribe, whatever, you know, if you're watching this. There's like one person watching. We'll have multiple email addresses, so 30 days free of Shudder. Usually it's just a 7-day free trial, but because of this isolation, they're being incredibly generous, and they're letting you do 30 days free, which is fantastic. And couldn't watch AMC's History of Horror by Eli Roth. It's on there. So you could watch that, all 7 episodes, and they have their own podcast. I haven't checked that out yet. I might have to do that. I like to podcast, listen to podcasts when I'm cleaning or when I'm working out. Sometimes if I'm not listening to music, which remember, artists supporting artists, support your local artists, support all artists if you can, however you can. And that's about it. I am done mixing the cards, so I am ready to deal this out. If by any chance, I'm able to, because again, I'm new. Hopefully I can change the description in this, and you're coming to this later. I will put in the description where each astrological sign falls so that you can skip ahead to yours if you're coming to this. The card for Aries. Right. I'm just pulling up my list here because that's what I do.
I think it's best we
Aries. Your card is the Six of Cups. Oh, goody, it's backwards. I wonder if that's the way it's going to be on the replay. Six of Cups. Next is Taurus. You are the Four of Pentacles. There we go. We are up to Gemini. Gemini, you are reversed. The Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Then we have Cancer. Wow, the King of Pentacles. Yeah, it's another pentacled day. Go. This long here. And then Leo. Leos, you are, the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. There you go. And for Virgo, the sixth one, that's me. I am the Two of Cups reversed. I think last week, I know I was a Queen of Cups at one point, but I can't remember if that was last week or the week before. But Two of Cups reversed for Virgos. Libra, you are the Page of Pentacles. Man, Pentacles is about, money and property and, the material things in life. And we're all in isolation. Why not? Cups, just an overview. Cups are about emotions usually and relationships. Swords are twofold. I can't even really tell you exactly what swords are. All I know is that swords are double-sided because you can kill somebody with a sword, or you can cut a resource to be used, like wood, chopping wood, with a sword. Although maybe not wood, because could you imagine somebody chopping wood? That's just what I hear about. You cut string. You can cut string with a knife, with a sword, whatever. So swords can be heavy-handed. That's all I really know about swords. I've been doing this since I was 16. I'm in my 30s now, so. You go next, which is, speaking of swords, Six of Swords reversed. And remember, for swords, if it's reversed, sometimes it's actually better than if it was right side up. There you go. Pentacle coming on there. Everybody's going to be concerned about money, I'm sure. I mean, unless you're like filthy, stinking rich. And even then, I know people with money who are worried about having cash on hand, which is ridiculous. Stop panicking. Stop causing other people to panic. It's just hurting people even more. Whatever. I'm not gonna get this. Five of Wands. We got our first wand. We only had one wand, I believe, last reading too, actually, and that was the Page of Wands. But for today, Aquarius, you got the wand. Five of Wands, right side up. And then Pisces to end it all. Oh, we got a twofer. Three of Wands, right side up. So it looks like Aquarius and Pisces are going to be all about career paths. Wands are about your path in life. It's not just about being successful with money, but being successful in the ventures that you take in terms of like spiritual fulfillment, but not in a religious way necessarily. Okay, so if you've never been here before, there's my leg, and I'm sitting on the floor because I'm tired of scrunching over, and also I wanted to have better posture for my camera over here. So what I do is I read from the book, and then I kind of give you my general interpretation of it. I don't know what's going on in your life. If you want to ask me questions when I get to your signs card, please feel free to. I will try to answer as best as I can. If you want to have a chat back and forth, great. We don't have to go into specifics. I know people have lives, but I want them to be private. So that is fine. We will take it as it comes. That sounds dirty, but I didn't mean it to. All right, so we are looking at Aries. Aries first. is the Six of Cups. All right. Someone or something from your past will return in a way that benefits your future. Alternatively, you are living too much in the past or are experiencing a nostalgia that is misplaced or completely unfounded. Okay. Well, in isolation times, to me, that means that you are looking for things to get back to normal, to go back to the way things were. You miss your office, you miss your job, you miss the commute, the 9 to 5. I can tell you from my standpoint, I don't. I don't miss any of that. Money, yeah, of course, because things cost money. But I don't see the world getting back to completely normal the way it was before. I'm sure a lot of things and a lot of businesses are going to try and probably will go back to normal. I think restaurants are going to have it really hard getting back to normal. I think movie theaters are going to have it really hard getting back to normal. And personally, from my standpoint, I would really love it if, this whole Amazon early, I'm stretching my legs, early arrival in streaming services that they've been doing with like The Hunt, which I haven't watched yet, but I really want to, and The Invisible Man, which I was lucky enough to see in theaters before Cleveland closed down. I would love for them to do that permanently. Like, have your week in theaters, and then for all of us that are homebodies, or just, it's not necessarily saving money because you're going to spend that money on popcorn if you're in the theaters, or you're going to pay twice the price to get the movie on your TV at home. But you could have as many people at your house as you want. So it could be down to like $5 a ticket, depending on how many people are there for $20 to watch one movie. I think that's a great option, and I love it. I think they should do that permanently. Give the first week for just theaters so that they can make their money on the popcorn and everything and the candy. And also, the group feeling that you get from watching a movie like Avengers Endgame. I love seeing that in theaters. The crowd cheering and crying and everything. I felt like I was part of a community. But sometimes you just want to have the experience at home. I feel like that card, this is a long explanation, that card really fits with that kind of dynamic where you're going to miss the way things were, but you need to let them go. And maybe it's just a temporary let go too. Maybe it's just, but I'm not sure about the rest of the country. And so people are, I was going to go back to my job at this point, but you're probably not, or you're going to be working from home. Get used to that. I mean, some businesses might be able to benefit from their companies working from home anyway. So this is about letting go of the past. It could be something completely different, like a person that was in your life that's not anymore. But I think in isolation times, this card is very fitting for many people. All right, so that was Aries. Let us move on to, I can't log into my thing and the stuff, and Taurus. Yeah, I don't know the order of things. Taurus is the Four of Pentacles. And you know what? I'm really lucky that Lincoln hasn't come by to bark at me. I'm probably saying his name will bring him. But, I'll point out if any of the animals are coming my way. Okay, Four of Pentacles. Right side up for Taurus. A sense of security, whether financial or physical, will bring you a lot of happiness. However, try not to become so wrapped up in material considerations that you lose sight of other important aspects of your life. Okay, so maybe you've been waiting to hear back from a remote work from home job. And sorry, I'm watching the fog while I'm talking to you. A remote work from home job, and maybe this is the week you find out that you are going to get it, or you're going to find some other source of income that's going to come into your life this week that you'll get to do while you're in isolation. If you've been struggling before, it sounds like, or if you've been waiting for this news, it sounds like this might be the week that you get that news. But on the other hand, when you get that security, when you get that sense of calm from money things, make sure that you don't let that become your life. Make sure that you have other things in your life that are keeping you sane, because you're going to be working from home probably, and you're going to be home when you're done working. It's going to get monotonous, and it's going to get a little stir crazy. So you should take this and try to fill your free time with other things. Let me suggest yoga. Yoga is great. Go for walks. You can still go outside 6 feet apart. If you have a mask, it wouldn't hurt to wear it, but don't go out and buy masks because hospitals need them more. In fact, I don't even know if I should be suggesting wearing masks. I'm lucky in that my mom was a cancer patient. She passed away. So that's not the lucky part. That's the sucky part. But because of that, we have leftover masks from when my dad and I were caretakers for her. So if we ever need to go out or go for a walk outside, we have that option because we already have those masks and gloves. So we've got medical supplies, and we've tried donating them, but they're open boxes. Hospitals won't take them because they're masks and gloves. I just know that some people feel more secure with them, but you can still go outside. Fill your time with more than just your work and your financial security. Do something, or else you're going to go nuts staying in your house. Even introverts need to go out sometime. That's my rant on that for you Tauruses. So next is Geminis. As a Virgo, Geminis are naturally my best friends. So anyway, we are looking at the Ace of Pentacles reversed. There could be a delay before a business enterprise gets off the ground. This will allow you to reassess whether you want to go through with it. Okay, I understand this card very much from my point of view. Maybe you are looking at starting your own home business during this isolation time, and you're finding that in putting everything together and deciding how your day-to-day life is going to be, that you don't like it. This is something that you are not into at all. Or maybe you're going to find out that there is a different type of home business that you might be into. This could be the week that you need to face that reality. If you are starting something and it's not bringing you happiness and you don't see it bringing you happiness in that routine in the future, then don't start it. Try to find something else. That's just good advice for anything. You know, if you're doing something, try to find something else that makes you happy if the thing that you are doing doesn't make you happy. Only on this earth for so long, and so many people have been dying. You know, happiness is important. It really is. Without harming others. Be happy, but don't make other people miserable. Golden rule. All right. That is Geminis. Let's do Cancers. The King of Pentacles. I do like the doo-doots a lot. It's usually what I edit out of my tarot videos. King of Pentacles. Cancer. A king can describe part of your personality that is important at the time of the reading, or it can depict a man who's playing a big role in your life. The King of Pentacles is extremely reliable and always keeps his word. He is probably a successful businessman and is generous with his cash. This man is very content with his life, and if he represents a part of your personality that needs to be developed, it may be the ability to be happy with your lot. In other words, you could count your blessings, or you should count your blessings, and be thankful for the good things in your life. Well, that's like the other part of the last card I was just talking about, where you're trying to search for something maybe in this time. You got all this time to your hands at home when you're stuck in isolation. What are the things in your home that make you happy? I mean, this is easier. It's not easy. I mean, one of the reasons why I didn't pre-film this, and well, I mean, I've been thinking about doing this live for a while, but one of the reasons I didn't pre-film it is because I hit a mini depression streak over the last 24 hours where I've just been watching thing after thing that makes me cry. And I'm talking about like One Tree Hill, which if you've watched it, has a lot of parts in it that could make you cry if you have a heart. But a vegetable a little bit and lazy because I've been sitting, but I've been on my computer and doing stuff and working on videos and editing and trying to get ahead of things so that I can take this time to just watch TV. And it all bundled up, and oh, the fog just ended. Sorry. You know how that ends. It's a really great ending. I knew it makes me happy, but it makes me cry. But in that crying, it made me forget about the things that are going on that have real world consequences. And I was able to just get that garbage feeling. I mean, it's not garbage feeling. It's a feeling you need to have. But I got to get it out of my system. And now I'm ready to be productive again. It's a really nice feeling. So for the King of Pentacles, you could have a lot of things going on in your home life. And this is the time to evaluate those things. To not evaluate, but to remember those things in your life that make you happy. Like, you have a pet. Pets are amazing. I mean, you don't see any of them right now because they like to hang out with my dad on the first floor. Because he's quiet and he's already asleep, and I'm not on their sleep schedule right now, or most days. But we have 2 dogs and 4 cats, all adopted off the street. The cats all adopted off the street. Dogs adopted in many different ways. And I think one day I'm just going to do a video and just lay it all out on the line, how I got my animals, because it's a very long story. And I know when I talk to people for like the first time and we start talking about our pets, I will go on for a very long time. Evaluate. We're talking about cancers, right? I think you really need to evaluate the things in your life. Remember the things in your life that make you happy. All right, moving on to the Leos. Leos. My mom was a Leo. 8 of Swords. Right side up. I don't really remember the fog score as well. It's not like The Thing. The Thing has a really eerie score to it. And Halloween, obviously. John Carpenter had a really great score with that. And I think he usually works on the music for his movies. So I'm kind of surprised that I don't really think about the fog score that much. Yeah, sorry. This is what happens when I put something that distracts me in front of my face. But this is real. This is what YouTube Live is for. It's for the realness. I'm pointing at you like it's your fault, but it's not. Except I'm also looking at me and the camera, so it's my fault. Pointing it at me. Anyway, Leos. 8 of Swords, right side up. You feel hemmed in by circumstances, as though there is no escape. Yet it is your own fears that are preventing you from breaking free. Something that feels as though it is a refuge, maybe more of a prison for you. Okay. I can't say it's not about being in your home and stuck there, because obviously most of us are stuck in our homes. And John Carpenter's Escape from New York is the next movie on Shudder, by the way. So it is a John Carpenter marathon on Shudder. That's amazing. If The Thing is on next, I may never sleep. Also, Kurt Russell. Love Kurt Russell. He's so sexy. Anyway, which, by the way, tomorrow, Terror Tuesdays, is something I do on Instagram. We are watching Bone Tomahawk, which is a Kurt Russell movie, and it'll be the first time I'm watching that. So feel free to, check that out. If I can have a link, I think my description already has my username below. Okay, back to the card. Leos. Okay, so it's your own fears that are preventing you from breaking free. Do not take this as a sign that you should leave your house because you're afraid of getting sick. Obviously, that's not what this means. I think breaking free might mean that you are resisting staying in the house and being with whoever you're living with, or being on your own, facing yourself. could be the fear that is stopping you from breaking free. Maybe, you're so ingrained in doing the normal routine, but it's not something that's actually good for you. And this time away during isolation is exactly what you need in order to figure out what you actually want in life. But you're afraid because maybe you already know about how unhappy you are. Oh, I can take you back to a time when I had my first office job. And I was incredibly unhappy. And my mom had just passed away. And I went to see, of all people, and I really loved her back then. And I don't hate her now. I just don't listen to her podcast anymore. But Jillian Michaels, who is a really inspirational speaker. And I know she said some stuff about Lizzo, and I haven't listened to her. But I remember she did that live show that she toured, and she came to Playhouse Square in Cleveland, and I got to see her live. It was just a last minute thing. I was dealing with the death of my mom. My work had gotten even worse than it was because of the time I was away. Things had changed, and people had left that were supposed to be backing me up. And I had a really hard struggle with it. And I already knew that I didn't want to be there before all that happened. There's just other things I wanted to do with my life. And so I went to this speaker, but I already knew. I already knew before seeing Jillian's show that I didn't want this in my life anymore. And I cried. I cried at the show. I cried afterwards. And every time I think about it, because I feel like I put myself in the same situation over the last couple of years, I cry when I think about it because I didn't face up to my own self. And that's what this whole last year has been for me, is facing what I actually want and trying to make dramatic changes to get it. So this is the time when you're in isolation. Face yourself. Face these fears. Leo, don't go out there and get coronavirus. Don't go out there and spread coronavirus. That is not what your card is telling you. Face your fears. Face yourself. And you'll figure out what those are. Or you'll admit to yourself finally what those are. Okay. And now for Virgos. That's me. Man, we've been going for 30 minutes already. Two of Cups reversed. Little dance. Okay. Two of Cups reversed. Think twice before joining forces with someone. For whatever reason. Try to delay signing a contract because you may not yet know all the facts connected with it. It is not a good time to commit yourself to anything. Okay. So don't make any commitments. Don't sign any contracts. There are some things I'm planning on signing up for this week personally, but they're mostly free trial things, so there's no risk in those contracts. But for me personally, I have been looking at least one work from home position. And then there's another job I'm up for that is delayed in hiring because of the shutdown in Ohio. I might not hear back from them in a month. But I like the idea of that job. But I also like the idea of working from home. So on a personal side for me, it's probably telling me what I already know in my head, which is if I get offered that at-home job, it's not going to be the job I'm going to want. Don't trust it. Or I could be overreacting to that. It could be completely something else. So I will have to be on the lookout for contracts that are coming my way. I don't know. A lot of people reaching out. Telephone schemes. Mail schemes. Consolidate your debt schemes. I'm so sick of all of it. But I gotta be on the lookout this week for that. And maybe you do too if you are also a fellow Virgo. All right. Moving on to Libras. Page of Pentacles. Okay. I have something that I want to say coming up, but we're 2 cards away from it. Page of Pentacles, right side up. For you, Libras. A page can represent a situation, a child, or someone who is either just entering, so be the chance to make some money, but this will involve plenty of hard work. When the Page of Pentacles symbolizes a person, it is someone who is trustworthy, practical, orderly, responsible, and efficient. They may have an old head on young shoulders. Okay. Well, I can't speak to you about the child or someone who's either just entering or just leaving your life. You're the only one who's going to know if that is this person. And if that's happening, I guess the big event would be them leaving or entering your life this week. If anyone is new entering your life, make sure that they wash their hands and don't touch their face. And sanitize everything that they touch, just in case. Small improvement in your finances. Sounds like this is the time that you might be getting in contact with somebody that'll help you find some financial pathway while you are stuck in isolation. So unless it's, well, it says it won't be you. Pages do not represent you. They're usually the person that brings knowledge to you. Sometimes they do that and then they leave. They're only there to bring that into your life and then they go away. For example, I had a friend who was only a friend for like a year in my life in high school. She is the person that bought me these tarot cards, Destiny Tarot, which from what I'm seeing, it might be backwards. I don't know if it replays the same way. My 16th birthday, and after we were done having class together, I like never saw her again. There are tons of people that I saw all 4 years of high school. She was a grade younger than me, and then nothing. So if she ever watches this, thank you. And also, if you are interested in buying a deck of these cards yourself, I do have an Amazon Associates link down below in my description. Feel free to use it. It helps me out. Artists supporting artists, businesses supporting local businesses, such and such. I'll also link to a couple of the other decks that I own as well. And if you want to know what those are, go visit my first video for the tarot readings. If I can link that, I will link that somewhere here, but I don't know if I can do that. Anyways, so it sounds like you're going to have some financial options pop up this week. Not huge, but something that you can trust, something that I think might be stable. So be on the lookout for that. Excuse me, I need a water break. Also, Kurt Russell. I never realized that Tom Atkins, I think that's his name, the guy from the third Halloween movie with no Michael Myers, was also in The Fog and Escape from New York. That's amazing. I mean, I guess John Carpenter knows the people he likes to work with. Cool. Anyways, back to the cards. We are looking at, that was Libra, so I'm guessing Scorpio. Scorpio! Simpsons reference for you. The Six of Swords reversed. Escape from New York has a pretty decent soundtrack to it, too. Anyway, John Carpenter, if you ever watch this, I love you. We'll talk movies. Six of Swords reversed. Scorpios. A house move or long journey could take place in the near future, but you will have strong regrets about it afterward. You may even feel as if your whole world has turned upside down. Okay, well, first of all, nobody should be moving during quarantine. That is incredibly unsafe. Especially now, we're at a very high level of people getting sick and deaths and stuff, and you don't want to be using public restrooms. So if you're still planning on moving during this time, now may not be the time. Now might be the time to not do that. To just stop. Don't do it. If you are planning on moving after this, really evaluate the place you're moving to. If you're moving for a job, you're going to be the one who knows whether or not it's appropriate for you to make huge moves. But the state you're moving to might not be the state for you. I know that I used to think I wanted to live in New York City, and I visited a couple times, and it's nice, but I couldn't live in a place like that. I just couldn't. It's just too much hustle and bustle. I like my sitting at home and watching TV. I want a backyard for my animals. And I don't want to be too far away from family. Although, maybe when I get to retirement age, that won't matter anymore and I'll move somewhere else. But not Florida, because cliche. But evaluate any moves that you're planning on making. This is the time. Everybody is pretty stagnant. This is the time to evaluate all the choices and decisions you are making, or you have coming up, or you've already made and can reverse if possible. So that's it for that. Sagittarius. This is the card I wanted to talk about. Sagittarius is the only card that has a change card. Okay, so there's the major and the minor arcana. Arcana, whatever. The major arcana has change cards, like the Hermit, which is reversed for Sagittarius, but that's the idea. It's a card that is not of a suit. The minor is a suit card, like your wands, your pentacles, your swords, and your cups. So when you get one of these suit cards, which everybody else has a suit card, Sagittarius is the only one that doesn't have a suit card. I feel like these cards are telling you to evaluate and think and make plans. I feel like that is the theme behind those cards. Last week, every single card was that way. And I've done readings for myself that's never been like that before. I've never done a reading for myself or for anyone else that I can remember that's only had suit cards. They've always had change cards in them because you're always looking at the past and the future, and there are going to be changes. There just are. They could be minor, they could be huge, but there are going to be changes. Life never stays the same. Even if it's just like, oh, a great movie is coming into my life and it's going to change my world or change my outlook on things. There are still changes along your journey of life, as long as you're still alive. But I think with these suit cards, because most of us are not allowed to, for the good of the world and the country, mind you, I am yelling at you now, we're not allowed to, not possible for most of us because of the way businesses are trying to figure out how they're going to change. And once they figure it out, then hopefully there will be at-home jobs available for the rest of us. But until then, everything is very stagnant. People are making plans. People are evaluating how things are run. And that is why I think last week, as well as this week, it's mostly the suit cards, because this is the time to make plans. This is the time to evaluate how your life was and why it's the way it is now while you're stuck, and where you want it to go when pathways open up. Evaluate what type of pathways might be opening up for you. I just gave myself chills because I was just thinking about that last week, and now I'm just that. Sagittarius, you get a change card today. It's the Hermit, which is actually the card of my sign. Like if you know, every sign has a planet, or every sign has something assigned to it. In terms of tarot cards, the Virgo tarot card is actually the Hermit. But for today, it is yours, Sagittarius. And we are looking at it and it's reversed. So it's not gonna be a great change. Oh boy. For some reason, you are unhappy when left alone. Perhaps you are lonely, or you are trying to avoid certain emotions or thoughts. If you want to ask someone for advice, make sure they are reputable and do not just accept. Face yourself. What is it that you're afraid of? Why are you afraid of being alone? Obviously, if you live alone and we're in times of isolation, dude, you got to be alone. at least for like a couple of weeks. Make sure all your friends are not sick, and then you can have parties at your house with those people only. Just be smart, be safe, but you have to be alone if you're alone. I mean, maybe get a puppy or something if you think you can handle that kind of responsibility. Don't get a puppy if you can't. Don't get a puppy if it's not good for the place you live. Don't, like, kittens are easier to take care of, but don't get animals if you're not ready for it. But being alone, why are you afraid to be alone? What is it about the thoughts that are going on in your head, or your inability to adapt to being alone? Where does that come from? I think this is the time you figure that out. This is where this is your epiphany week. As a hermit, I mean, I think the reason why hermit is so associated with like Virgos and stuff is we're very, very much about epiphanies. I think that's like a common core or stereotype, if you will, with the Virgo lifestyle. This is the week that you have your epiphany, and it's going to be rough, I think, for you when you have it, because you're going to face something that you've been blocking. And, if you're not going to be able to tune things out, if there are no TV shows or music or maybe you shouldn't even be turning to those things. This is the time to sit and reflect on you and figure out, like, I think once you break that wall, it'll lead to other things that could actually be good and healthy for you. That's what I see in this card. Again, I could be totally bullshitting. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know you. I don't know your life. I don't know your thing. I'm just reading the cards and what I see in the cards. If you want to, I've got the chat open. So if you want to tell me totally spot on, or oh my God, is that completely wrong, or you're full of crap, whatever, feel free. That is what the chat is for. But I could be right. It wouldn't be the first time, not even the second time. And I'm a Virgo. I love being right, so it's just our thing. But that is what I see in that card. So moving on from Sagittarius, we are talking to Capricorns now. We're down to our last 3 cards. Whew, I'm talking a lot. If we're sitting around and just watching TV, this is the most I've talked in a very long time. So, Capricorns, you are the 2 of Pentacles reversed. Well, I didn't do my hair and makeup just to not talk to people, so I'm going to talk. 2 of Pentacles reversed. Capricorns, there may be a big struggle to pay the bills and keep your head above water financially. Do not be extravagant or take unnecessary risks with your money. People need to tell me that all the time. Or else I wouldn't have the lighting that I have now. Or this laptop that I'm using to do this live stream right now. Or this top. Or this skirt that I'm wearing that you can't really see. That's just great advice for most of us. I'm guessing since the 1% is actually 1% just about of the population, that we're all on the 99 percentile, where we're not 100% okay in terms of being financially set. So don't push it this week. Maybe you're lucky enough that you have a paycheck coming, and this week in particular might be rough, but next week will be better. Just reach out to the government for financial aid. I don't have any of those links. To be honest, my dad's been helping me out. I live with my dad, so he knows what financial struggles I've been going through on my side of things, and I'm lucky enough that he is essential for the most part, and he still gets to work during this. His schedule basically hasn't changed, which is kind of nice for me, because being stuck at home, I get the benefit of having home time with him and then home time without him. So I get to structure, I need to structure my life a little bit better and get on his same sleep schedule, because I lose time to be productive when I'm sleeping through half of the time he's out of the house, be able to temporarily support me in my own issues. And hopefully I'll bounce back soon. But if you don't have that in your life, there are systems in place that you might be able to apply for. I'm thinking a lot of people are applying for them, and it's probably not easy to get approved for things. Medicaid, Medicare, WIC assistance, all of it. But you have to apply in order to get it. So maybe this is the week that you apply for it. And then hopefully it comes through as soon as possible and you get it. I don't know how the systems are working, if they even are at this point. I know we're supposed to have a stimulus check come in. It sounds like it's a one-time thing. It's not going to help me pay off my bills. I'm still going to have bills after that one check, but it could help for a small bit. But if this is the situation you're in, do your research. Libraries are closed, so if you don't have your own computer and internet, hopefully you know somebody who does that can help you out. Or I think some libraries are leaving their Wi-Fi on, so if you have a computer but no internet at home, or you have a laptop, or you have your phone but you don't want to use all your data up, then go to a library. They might have their Wi-Fi on. Sit in the parking lot and access it. I'm almost positive I heard that libraries were doing this. So if you are one of those people who are having trouble with finances, you got options. And if not, hopefully something else comes around that does. That is Capricorns. We are on, I believe, Aquarius's. Because I have a friend who's an Aquarius, and then I have somebody else who's a Pisces in my life, and I believe that is the order. So yes, Aquarius is next, and you are the 5 of Wands this week. And again, if you're just tuning in, Shutter, I have that on in the background right now, just to have some sound. That's not just me talking and me breathing. But they're doing a John Carpenter marathon on Shutter, and I'm not sponsored by them at all. But I am taking advantage of their free month of streaming service. Use the code SHUTIN, SHUTIN, and you'll get 30 days for free instead of their usual 7 days. It's been fantastic. I've been watching a lot of horror movie documentaries, and I don't know if it's all week, but today they have a John Carpenter marathon. I've watched part of the original Halloween. I just got through watching The Fog in the background, and now it's Escape from New York. So lovely. All right. Aquarius's Wands, 5 of Wands. This is an irritating phase when nothing goes according to plan. I told you, fives, whether it's right set up or not, fives are just not a happy card. This is an irritating phase when nothing goes according to plan. Business deals may be put on hold and communications will be difficult. Travel plans may be affected, so do not leave anything to chance or until the last minute. Okay, like I said, suit cards are for planning. Make sure you get your plans solidified, but have backup plans, because apparently things are going to fall through this week. I know for me, because all the jobs I've applied for, any of them that have actually gotten back to me, because employer, if any of you watching, there's now 2 of you, are HR people, respond to the people who apply. If you're not going to hire them. I hate never hearing back from a company. I get it, but it takes like a couple of months before I get it. But I have heard back from jobs I've applied for, and they're like, we're holding off until after this this whole isolation, this whole quarantine thing is over. So if you are experiencing these kind of things, or if you are waiting to hear back from jobs you've applied for, this is probably the week where you're going to get those same kind of messages. So it's not great. Have a backup plan. I can tell you this, there are a lot of great free opportunities online. I've seen a lot of Instagram ads. Teachable did this whole conference, and they were talking about creating your own online course and how it helps you bring in like a steady stream of income, small at first, but the more you do it, the more people you get to pay attention to you, the more you might be able to sell in terms of just a course. It's not something you have to do every day. It's just something you promote on your social media platforms. That could be a backup income for you. And it might not reach what you used to make when you worked in an office or a building, but it could build up to that. So you're going to have these plans this week. Look into backup stuff. This is the time to have plan Bs and Cs and Ds. So that's about it. And finally, survey what's going on around you and make intelligent decisions based on that knowledge. However, don't be complacent because there's still a lot of work to be done. All right, that's like the best card we've gotten this entire reading. You've got plans, or you've had plans already completely go on track. And now's the time to evaluate what to do next. And don't be, like I said, don't be complacent. You could have something that has happened that is good for you. Maybe you got that job that you're working from home, or you've been considered essential and you are on your way to your office doing your job. Don't be complacent in that, because the world is changing. Supposedly, it's not going to go back to normal. You might, in your essential role, have a different path that you are now following, that your business is about to change the way things are being handled. I'm sure the hospital business is going to be changing because of everything that's going on with nurses and with materials, and there's probably going to be an even bigger need for doctors than there already was. So have a plan in place for when the ball drops for everyone else, whatever that means for you. And that's it. Those are our readings. I'm going to sign off here, and I'll go through the video that this is my first time doing live YouTube, so I don't know exactly how it works, but I will try to redo my descriptions and give you kind of a time outline for every sign that I read for today. That's it. I'm going to try this again. I think I'm going to do this on Sundays because I like Sundays better than Mondays, and probably around like 7 before all the TV shows come on. Also, The Walking Dead is on at 9, although I don't know if they have more than one new episode because of the quarantine, but I should be done by the time The Walking Dead comes on. So I'll try to aim for Sundays at 9. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter at Mary Graves CLE. That's CLE for Cleveland, on all of those accounts. And feel free to check out my other YouTube videos. I just posted my latest meditation video, and I've got a couple old tarot readings for the last couple weeks. Go check those out and see if they were accurate for you for those weeks. That's it. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you later. How the heck do I get out of this thing? All right, end stream. Bye.